Some people insist it was the wrong thing to do. But the man who's in direct charge of running Albuquerque city government day to day insists it was absolutely the right thing to place undercover police officers in last week's anti-APD protest. He talked today to News 13's Katie Kim.
The debate has been raging since Saturday on social media, news websites, and in the halls of the state's leading civil liberties group.
It seems like a lack of common sense.
Why were undercover officers from the Albuquerque Police Department, including at least one from the unit that gathers intelligence on suspected criminals, carrying a camera and blending in at an APD protest over the weekend?
We got a job to do, and I think we did it within the perimeters of the law and did it to the benefit of the citizens.
The mayor's right-hand man, Chief Administrative Officer Rob Perry, says it's about keeping everyone safe. But critics say that's what the uniform cops were there for, and there was no need for the city to send in the spy squad. The APD Criminal Intelligence Unit has been called out at least twice through the years for conducting surveillance and gathering information on people not suspected of criminal activity and merely exercising their constitutional rights. So what really has people on edge is whether the department is up to old tricks.
I don't understand how protecting us is infiltrating us.
Protest organizers have been demanding answers since Saturday. The ACLU has weighed in, filing a massive public records request to get to the bottom of what APD is doing with the information and video it's gathering. We've sent a similar request, and this morning, Perry finally sat down with us.
And the only thing that I understood that was recorded in this particular incident is when an antagonist got out of line, basically, and I think he was actually removed by the protester security forces themselves.
News 13 saw one undercover intelligence officer aiming his camera at demonstrators who were doing nothing more than speaking. Perry insists that as far as he knows, the officer only shot one piece of video, and it was of that rowdy protester. But he admits there may be more videos and said the city is looking into it. Regardless, Perry said people shouldn't be surprised when APD shows up with cameras to a public protest that demonstrators themselves are streaming live and posting online.
When you have the very protesters broadcasting their protest, I think you're hard-pressed to make a claim that there's any sort of expectation of privacy or otherwise anything improper occurring.
But the Criminal Intelligence Unit, they're a specialized APD unit that gathers information.
Right.
On citizens.
And they're collecting the same thing that the protesters themselves are broadcasting to the public. Isn't that an irony?
But for protesters and the ACLU, the real concern is APD's spy tactics.
We knew that this was going on then. We see it going on today. I suspect that the bit that we've actually been able to witness happening at the protest may just be the tip of the iceberg.
Perry says the mayor's office knew ahead of time that APD was sending its criminal intelligence unit into Saturday's protest. The reason? Security. There have been a handful of large protests. In late March, one of them got out of hand. A guy even showed up with an assault rifle.
What we're trying to do is protect the community and protect the protesters. A little man from the moon didn't come down at the last protest, Miss Kim, and bring an AK-47 and a sidearm and a long rifle.
But why the Criminal Intelligence Unit?
Well, you know, aren't we splitting hairs?
Demonstrators say we're not. They say police spying on peaceful protesters is scary and tramples on their free speech rights.
Was it the right call to send a member of the Criminal Intelligence Unit? Just the perception of having someone whose job it is to gather intelligence out at that protest?
That's a fair question, but I want to kind of just tell you that I don't think that the overall community in Albuquerque has great distrust. It may be that way in your newsroom, but I'm not so sure that the community has that distrust.
On special assignment, Katie Kim, KRQE News 13.
Perry also told us APD is not keeping files on protesters. Still, he said the city will review its policies on sending undercover intelligence officers to protests. You can see the full interview with Rob Perry at KRQE.com.